my connection is okay today. I'm a little bit. Hi guys. Hi. Please let me know if my connection is good. I was having some issues even getting on here. Welcome guys. If you're just coming from Heather's Scope, thank you so much for joining. My partner in crime, my best friend. I call her my lime to my Moscow mule. So welcome. My name is Kelly Dunlap. I am a purple status unique presenter, and great. I am so glad to hear that. Hopefully everything just kind of like came together in the nick of time. And my title was a little bit basic because I was trying to hurry, and the first time I had put the title in, it said connection was too bad. Hi there. Thank you so much. Okay, so again, if this is your first time joining, my name is Kelly Dunlap. I am a unique purple status presenter. I am partners with Heather Hermes, and she more than likely had sent you over to me. She and I are partners in crime. We are a team. We do everything together, and she's my person. You know, those of you that have watched, hi there, hi Sammy. You know, those of you that have watched Grey's Anatomy, you're my person. Aren't you pretty? Okay. So everything that Heather and I are talking about is all tying in together, right? So Heather talked about, you know, making your magic hour. I'm just kind of briefing some of the things. Making your magic hour. I talked about, you know, dressing for success. Talked about the relationships and building them, forming them, reconnecting, those types of things. Yesterday she talked about money and how your relationship with money is affecting where you are at socially as well, you know, where you stand socially and where you are at, like, with it manifesting with you or not. So your relationship with money is definitely very important, and she had a really good message yesterday because, you know, I myself a lot, I find myself saying words like, oh, I need more, or I don't have enough, or, you know, something along those lines, but I know that I have to just think, you know, change my thinking. So it was a great message. Now, what we're going to talk about today, what Heather was just mentioning, was never be assumptive. And that was one of my biggest, greatest sales lessons. And, you know, she had told you that I'm a real strong salesperson because I love sales. You know, I don't know why I love it. It's because I love building the relationships with the people. That's what it comes down to. I love to just get to know people. I'm really nosy, I guess. So, bottom line is that there was a lesson that I'll never forget. I think I had mentioned to you before that I was in the fitness industry for 24 years, and included in the industry, when you're in fitness, you are selling yourself. And of course, I had to sell memberships, I had to sell training, so I had to really learn, and I had to learn quick, and thank God I had some really great mentors. And one day in particular, I had a lady walk in to the gym, and she, you know, I let my assumptions get the best of me. And our assumptions, they just come from our previous experiences. And we have to let those previous experiences let go. Yes, we learn from them, but don't always assume that just because a person looks a certain way, dresses a certain way, talks a certain way, acts a certain way, that they are going to be exactly like your previous experience. Does that make sense? So she came in, she wanted a membership. Now, I don't know, you know, a lot of times in sales, and even like with credit cards, they always have, you know, 90 days, same as cash, da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? They're basically saying that if you pay it off early, that you're not going to pay the interest. Well, this particular gym that I had worked at, if you paid your membership off within the first 90 days, because this particular gym would charge you interest after 90 days, but if you paid it off, you would save, like, I don't know, $200 some, which meant that I got a higher commission. Are you following me? Don't want to make the story too long, but the bottom line is this. I was thinking in my head, there's no way this lady can afford to pay this off in full. There's no way. Just because I was judgy. Shame on me. Shame on me. I was assuming I was making an ass of me, right? So I thought, well, whatever, I'm just going to bring it up to her anyway. Well, lo and behold, I says, you know what, I'm just going to throw this out there to you, because you have to use, your selling language is very important as well. And I'm just going to say, hey, you know what? I would like to save you some money. And I introduced the opportunity to her in a very positive way and basically said, okay, this is what I think that you should do. I just want to bring this up to your attention. And I showed her what was in it for her, because let's face it, everybody's tuned in to what's in it for me, WIFM. Okay, so always remember that. They always want to know what's in it for me. Why is she telling me this? Because people, again, like I talked about before, they're always on the defensive, thinking that you're trying to do something that is going to benefit you and not them. Anyway, to make a long story short, I almost lost out on more commission. I almost lost out on helping her save money, and that is very important because we are here to help others. We are here to help serve others. That would have been shame on me if I didn't tell her that she could have saved that amount of money, and she paid it off in full. Okay? So never assume. I judged. And it was because of previous experiences that I had with other people that maybe looked the same that she did. But like Heather talked about with the girl, that you never know who you're talking to. You know, the girl that had the half top on and basically, yes, exactly. They want to hear. They want to know their options. I know I would. I would have been kind of pissed if somebody didn't tell me that I could have saved a couple $100, you know? So just like Heather talked about the girl at the makeup counter, you never know who is being led to you and what connection. Remember how I talked about the relationships, who was behind them. So that girl was a great connection for Heather, right? All right, so I have handwritten notes today, so guess what that means? That means that I have a harder time reading my handwriting, so usually I have them typed out. Because you know what it was? I was a secretary for so long, and I took shorthand a lot, so I don't like to write full. I really should get back to just doing my shorthand again, because that's why my handwriting is so sloppy. But anyway, just a side note. Okay. So far too often, we are assuming about the people based on our previous experiences and what we see. Now, here's the thing. I want you guys to really listen to me on this one. Often the important details, okay, details about the person, about who they are, what they are all about, not the superficial, surfacey stuff, because that's the entire world, right? Everybody's so superficial, and then they're so quick to judge and all that. The details are hidden, you guys. They're hidden. They're hidden from your sight because of the initial impression, okay? So it is your job to ask things like we talked about this before, open-ended questions. You need to dig for information. You need to just ask questions like, oh, so how does your husband feel about you purchasing? You know, just something along those lines. Then you're going to find out if she's married, if she's engaged, if she's, you know, people love to talk about themselves. Okay. They really, really, really do. So remember that. So you want to ask open-ended questions. And again, you have to look at it like this. I always get excited because I knew that quickly that I had to build rapport fast with people. And you have to remember that too in sales. You have to, especially if it's person to person. Now it's a little bit different because like a lot of our businesses now is online. So the interaction is a little bit slower. However, if you are in front of somebody, like if you're at a vendor show, if you're at a home party, you need to really earn that trust quick and build that rapport and find a commonality quickly. Okay. So, my best thing is, you know, by asking those questions like, oh, well, where do you work? Or, oh, you know, let's say it's a Saturday vendor show and I might say, oh gosh, you know, I'm glad you made it. I know Saturdays are so busy. You're probably off on the weekends, aren't you? You know, things like that. I'll say things like, aren't you? Couldn't you? Wouldn't you? Shouldn't you? Or this is going to feel great, isn't it? You know, isn't it? Doesn't it? Okay? Those types of things. You don't want to say things like, you want to stay away from words that are like, do you think, what does that relay? It relays like, I'm kind of worried that you're not going to believe what I have to say. So do you think you'd want to listen to me for a minute so I can show you this makeup over here? You know what I'm saying? They're not going to want, they're like, they want to be talking with somebody that knows their product, knows their stuff, is going to change their life. Because what did I say? People want to know what's in it for them. So you have to quickly make sure that you are sharing benefits and value. Everybody wants to know value. Like Heather and I, and I know I'm speaking for me, and I'm not totally sure about Heather, but I know that we've had this discussion before. We don't run sales. We don't discount our products. You want to know why? Because it is, to me, it decreases the value of the product. I think a lot of times people run sales because they're fearful. But I could be, I'm just speaking, but I'm just saying in my sales experience. But guess what's going to happen is people are going to be leery. They're going to hesitate to go back to the pre-sale regular price. Okay, so that's why value is so important when it comes to selling, not focusing on price. If somebody told me that the mascara or the foundation or whatever it is that we're focusing on, whether it's wraps, shakes, whatever you're selling, I don't really, not that I don't care, but whatever it is, if you are telling me that I'm going to look better, feel better, that my lashes are going to look fuller, that exactly, don't ever tell them the price. You tell them the questions that you want to ask. And actually what I'll do is I'll put together a list. I used to have a go-to list, and I'll look around and find it. I'll put together a list, and then if you guys are not subscribed to my bi-weekly emails, because I'll put this in a recap with my email when it goes out next week. Go to thefitygal.com, so www.thefitygal.com, and then I'll have a recap of that, and then I'll put in there some of the open-ended questions that you can use. So if you guys don't have any other questions, I think we can wrap things up. Do you guys have any questions at all? Everybody doing okay? I'm glad the connection worked. I was getting a little bit nervous because I was like, oh no. Every time I was trying to connect on Heather's, it kept saying connection was bad. And then when I went to put my title in, it was like trying to reconnect, and it just wasn't working. So, all right. I hope everybody has their Christmas wrapping done and all that good stuff and getting geared up for the holiday. I know Heather's going to, yes, I know Heather is going to, you're welcome. I know Heather's going to do a Scopy tomorrow. What time are you going to do that, pretty? Do you know? You going to do about 2:30, 11:30, or what are you thinking? A copy. What are you saying? Oh, 2:30. Okay. Very good. Awesome. Okay. So we look forward to that. I hope you guys, once again, and I'll say this every time, I hope you got some value out of that. I apologize if I was just kind of a little bit all over the place. I didn't have my notes typed up. Normally, I like to have them typed so I can actually see what the heck my writing says. Because last night I was just, going away and going away. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for joining, you guys. I really enjoy this. It's really a lot of fun, and I hope that that you guys have a Merry Christmas, and I will see you on Monday. Well, I'll see you tomorrow in the scope, but I'll see you guys face-to-face on Monday, okay? All right.